Behind the Roar, the official podcast of Wests Tigers.
Well, hello, welcome to episode 10 of Behind the Roar, the official podcast of the Wests Tigers, where we kick speculation into touch, where we give it to you straight, and where we learn more about the people and the stories behind this great club. This episode has a real women's rugby league focus to it ahead of our inaugural season in the NRLW. And as we speak, we are expecting the NRLW fixtures to be released. On Sunday at Campbelltown Sports Stadium, Wests Tigers unveiled a further 9 players for the 2023 NRLW squad. Most of those ladies are local juniors. So that now takes our total squad for the upcoming season to 17. There are another handful of women players that will be announced in the coming days. So keep a watch out for that. And I don't know, we may be able to drop one of those names a little bit later on into this very program, because we do give it to you straight and we do give you scoops when we can. Our guest this week has played 5 seasons with Wests Tigers, starting back in 2019, our first season in the Harvey Norman Women's Premiership. She will be a very big part of our first NRLW team. She's worn the blue and gold for Parramatta in the NRLW. She has represented the Maori AllStars and is on the comeback trail from her second ACL injury. The latest one rubbed her out of the game for pretty much the past 12 months. She's also a very big part of our community team here at Wests Tigers. It is a very warm welcome to Botille Vette-Welsh. Thanks for joining us on Behind the Roar, Bo.
Thanks for having me.
You are the very first NRLW guest on Behind the Roar. You must feel pretty special about that.
Yeah, it's a pretty big privilege. I'm a bit nervous though.
Don't be nervous. Hey, no, great. I'm really glad you have taken a bit of time out of your day to join us. The next few months, you must be really excited about what's ahead.
Yeah, I'm so keen. I just want to get into it and get back on the field and be amongst the girls and be able to wear the Tigers jersey again. I'm very excited.
Before we get into the set of 6, so I'll tell you how it works if you haven't. Have you listened to any of it?
Yeah.
So you're cool. You know where we're going then.
Yeah.
So we'll have a set of 6. We'll get to know you. We'll talk some real footy stuff in the middle of the show, NRLW stuff, and your role too here at the club. I do know that we put out on Insta some questions from the crowd. So we've got a few coming in as well. I haven't seen them yet. So they'll be, it'll be all off the cuff. And then at the back end with about 5 minutes to go, we'll have our final 5. For future episodes, by the way, if you do want to have give a question to our guest, it's pretty simple. Jump on Instagram, just direct message us, and we'll shoot the questions through. Some of them we have to filter, obviously, and vet. But in the main, they've been really good. You can leave a voice memo too on Insta. So that's another way to get in touch, and you can be a part of Behind the Roar. Let's just go back to Sunday's game at Campbelltown, Bo. You, as I say, you were a very big part of the community team. And I don't know if those good crowd in pretty wet conditions, a very vocal crowd. And we were so bloody close to that elusive win. We'll talk about that in a moment as well. But your role with our community team on match day, one of the events that you pretty much run is the new initiative called the Halftime Heroes. Now, the crowd absolutely loved that relay race. I think it came down to almost a 3-way dead heat. They got into it, didn't they?
Yeah, the crowd gets, as soon as the crowd gets behind us, the kids feel like they are the superstars of the day. So, we had a few clubs that were down to the last 10 metres in the race, and it was very exciting to have the crowd yelling and cheering for them.
They loved it. It was purely organic stuff, right?
Yeah.
They didn't need any prompting. And the kids, they were running their little hearts out with big smiles on their faces. So some of those, the Halftime Heroes, that's part of our Back to the Juniors program, right? Where we invite all our local clubs, players go out and do visits with the clubs, and then they come and perform on match day. Some of the clubs there, I know at least we put invitations out. Was it Campbelltown Collegians? Campbelltown Warriors?
Yeah.
Who else did we have? Ingleburn?
Yeah, so we had All Saints Liverpool, Campbelltown Warriors, we had Minto Cobras, Ingleburn Tigers, Appin Dogs,
Appin Dogs. Oh, that's
and
a
Mittagong Lions.
Mittagong Lions. And so no Bargo Bunnies.
Nah, Bargo Bunnies couldn't be a part of it this time, but there's still a couple more rounds to go, so hopefully we can get them out to race in there.
I mean, and it's sort of just touching back on that game too. Look, I know you are the women's voice, but you're very much part of this club, and you are dealing with these guys pretty much every day, because part of your role also is coordinating a lot of those player appearances at community events. So you're pretty much part of the inner sanctum. You see what goes on at training. You see the mood they're in. There is obviously disappointment that the result still hasn't come. But judging by the way I'm hearing the players talk and seeing them around the place, and the way Tim's talking as well, that effort is still there. The attitude is there. I guess you don't throw the processes out the window now.
Yeah, I think it's just a bit of a grind. Obviously, we see the boys around the club throughout the week, and you tend to become a part of their support system, because you think, oh, while I'm around you guys, I want to make sure you guys do the best and enjoy your footy. So it's pretty stink to see them not come away with the results at the end of the game. But I don't think it's a lack of effort or a lack of attitude. I think that we're very close, and Sunday was a perfect picture of how close we really are. So it's just stay on that grind, stay together, and work hard, and eventually it'll come. Hopefully sooner than later.
It will. It will come. I thought Appy was he was outstanding.
Yeah,
the skipper.
He's a man, eh? He's so sharp. He came down to help the girls out at Harvey Norman at a couple of our sessions. So yeah, we're all big super fans of him now.
He's great. Yeah. He's such a good leader. And when he was appointed captain, some people thought, might have thought, is he the right choice? But I've got no doubt they made a really good decision there. He's a super guy. He really is, because I've had to deal a lot with him, as you have. And but just performance-wise, my goodness, he was so strong. Lovely to see Jerome make his NRL debut too.
Cool, eh? So cool. He did pretty mean too, eh? He was pretty sharp out the back.
Yeah, a little, made a blue, but he was good. When he came out of that in goal and got back into the field of play and then took the ball up to the 20, the crowd was on its feet. It was a real special moment for young Jerome, and his family were all there. And I was privileged enough to be in the dressing rooms when he was presented his jersey. Oh, cool. Johnny Dorahy, who was appointed to the board last week, actually, so fullback to fullback. Really emotional Jerome. He welled up and he was just so emotional. But that's beautiful to see, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because we think of these.
Yeah, I think we all think that these NRL guys are some superhuman people with no feelings, but you can see when they are given their first debut jersey that it's a moment that these guys have been working hard for many years, not just this year that they get to debut, but once they're younger, coming through the systems. I think it's a real special moment, and it's real cool to see all their families get behind them and make these cool airs, banners and stuff in the crowd.
It's beautiful, and I don't think I'm talking out of school here, but a couple of the boys as well, I could see them starting to tear up a bit in the change room as well when Jerome was getting so emotional. It was a special moment, and just a shame we didn't come away with the win. But we'll go again in Bathurst on Saturday. Doesn't get any easier. We're up against the Panthers, but I mean, you just got to keep doing what you're doing.
Exactly. You got to grind hard. It's the Underdog title is always the best title to come into a game with, because there's no expectations for you to do too well. But then as soon as you nip them in the butt, you're looking much better than where you were before.
Hey, talking about, we haven't got to the set of six yet. Talking about emotions, right? The Balmain Dawn service, you went along to that Anzac round and Anzac Day. It's a special time of the year in the rugby league calendar. Yeah,
it's a massive moment for the servicemen and women of the country, and obviously of New Zealand as well. So I was very blessed and very honoured to go down to the dawn service and be a part of that, which was pretty special.
All right, well, we better get into it, because that's a big warm-up. That's like a half-hour warm-up out there. Let's get into the opening set of six. Hear it? There it is. There is the whistle, Bo. So let's get to know you a little bit better, shall we? So how did it come about, you first joining Wests Tigers?
The Wests Tigers had just announced that they were going to jump into the Harvey Norman competition, and I was over at a couple of other clubs, and one of the coaches, Reihana, he was coming over to the Tigers, and we were pretty close with him, so I thought, oh yeah, why not make it a bit of a family trip and come over, and it was the best decision so far, because this is the first club that I've been able to stay at and call home and not have to jump all over the place to find the best club for me.
And there's been so many developments since you arrived at the club, and we'll talk more about the Centre of Excellence and our NRLW licence now as well. We'll save that for middle of the potty. But question 2 that you got to tackle. So can we just go way back? And I sort of know a bit about your background because we've had a few chats before. But you come from a really small New Zealand seaside village. I think the census had the population at about 157. Take us through your childhood, when you moved out here, all that sort of stuff.
Our childhood's pretty cool, eh? Like, you live off the land, you get to swim, play in the bush, do everything with no worries of snakes or spiders or any scary things like that. So I reckon living in New Zealand in the country towns is like a paradise, because you get to explore and you really learn about everything and anything through experiences. So I can always say that my childhood was really, really cool. I have 3 older brothers, and my parents are teachers, so we all were at the same school in Taipa, New Zealand, and yeah, it was me and Az.
How many in the school?
Oh, maybe like 600, but that was like from kindergarten all the way to year 13, so a whole schooling life in the one school, and there wasn't many. I came to Australia and went to Westfield Sports, and there was more people in my year group at that school than there was in my whole school in New Zealand. So it was a bit of a culture shock and a bit of a population shock for us.
I bet it was. But am I right in saying when there was about 200 people in the population?
Yeah, there's
village?
not many people there. Everyone has to come from the surrounding towns to come to school there.
Oh, so that's why there were 600
students,
even though the population, I'm just trying to do my math.
Not many live there. Everyone has to catch a bus from out of town.
And how many in your class then would you have had?
Oh, like 18, 20?
Yeah.
Still a decent size.
Yeah. And you were quite a gifted athlete, right? And I think all your family were pretty gifted athletes. So am I right in saying you had to travel too far to go to any athletics carnivals with proper athletics tracks?
Yeah.
So you did you start your own athletics
Yeah,
club?
so I think my brothers would love to be called gifted athletes.
Yeah, am I? Yes, no?
No, yeah, we'll stay with that. They'll like that plug. So we lived up north. There's no athletics track. You run on the grass. You don't really wear shoes up there because you live on the beach, so shoes aren't necessary unless it's somewhere and the prickles are there. But yeah, so we used to have to travel down to Whangarei, which is a couple of hours away from where we stay, and that was twice a week just to run in competitions. And my parents just had enough. There's 4 of us kids playing sport, and driving 2 hours for 2 of us makes it a little bit tricky when my other brothers are all trying to play sport as well. So my parents decided that they'll just make their own athletics club up north and invite all the kids to come and be a part of it, and we'll just compete for our own town. And there was pretty much me and my brother in the club, and that was it.
So, okay, barefoot, I get all that. You probably should come and Northern Beaches might sort
Well, when I first moved to Australia, I thought there was beaches everywhere, and then we landed in Parramatta, and the closest beach is 45 minutes away.
Well, I grew up in Parramatta. Well, we used to call Parramatta River our beach.
Yeah, that river.
There's Lake Parramatta too.
Oh, yes, actually.
Did you know where that is?
Yeah, I've been there, but there's eels that sit under the rock, and they nip at your feet.
No, they're all right.
Doesn't sound too fun.
No, they're okay. Your decision, your parents emigrating to Australia. So how old were you when you moved out here? And did they, well, you tell us, why did they bring you out here?
So my dad and my 2 older brothers moved to Australia in 2008, I think. My dad came here to Australia to the Australian Sports College down in Canberra to
Institute of Sport.
Yeah, Institute of Sport as a coaching scholarship that he got.
For athletics?
For every sport that so he used to do rugby league, athletics, touch, any sport. He was coaching us up there, so he got a scholarship to come over here and have an opportunity there, and he brought my 2 older brothers. But when you come from a country town and you come over here, it's a little bit of a shock to the system. So my older brothers came back to New Zealand. They didn't really like Australia, And then
They
2000.
didn't like it.
Nah, they were teenagers, so they had girlfriends and stuff.
Oh,
so
well, there you go.
Australia wasn't the
lovesick.
priority at that moment. Exactly. And they're we're all homely kind of kids, so it was a bit hard being half of the family over here and the rest of us back in New Zealand. So they came back, and then 2010 we all made the decision to come over to Australia. Better sporting opportunities. We don't have to travel 5 hours to compete in carnivals and sport, and just opportunities that Australia provides us in sport and in life in general was the biggest sell for us to come over here, and it's definitely paid off.
So where is family settled? Where are they now?
In Australia or New Zealand?
Here.
Oh, we
Parents.
all there's majority of us are in Parramatta, and then my
Yeah.
parents, they live out in Broken Hill, which is way out in the wops of Australia. Yeah, they're teachers out there, so.
I was going to say, how'd they end up they got placed out there for work?
Yeah, they decided to go out to Broken Hill and teach out there and see the different way. They taught in New Zealand in the country area, but now they're like 15 hours away and there's no beaches out there. So
No.
struggle street.
Have you spent much time out there?
Nah, not yet.
Not for you?
Nah, it's either 500 degrees or it's 0 degrees. So there's not really a time that I would like to go to Broken Hill weather-wise.
I'm sure there are lovely parts in Broken Hill. I haven't been there.
Nah, there's 12 pubs, my dad reckons.
12?
He's gone to every single pub.
Well,
so.
there's plenty of miners.
Yeah,
they do like a
yeah.
shandy or two.
Yeah, it looks like it'll be a cool area, but if it's that far away from the beach and it gets that hot and that cold, it's just not selling
Good
it for
movies,
me.
I reckon. Good movies filmed in Broken Hill.
They have that drag queen parade
was there,
as well.
Priscilla?
Yeah, Priscilla. They have that every year as well. My mum loves it.
I bet. Well, that's probably what's keeping
Most
your mum.
entertaining thing in Broken Hill, probably.
Yes. Oh, wow. Righto. Question. I think this is the last tackle, Bo. Well, there's two to go. You showed a lot of promise as an athlete as a kid. When did you realise that you were pretty good at rugby and rugby league and you wanted to take it seriously?
I still think I'm pretty average at it. I've still got a lot to learn with footy and just sport in general. But I think maybe 2018 I had the opportunity to play at Roosters. I got called into the squad because one of the girls had gotten pregnant and couldn't play, so they chucked me in, which was pretty cool for me. And I think the little taste of what professional footy in that environment, I only played the one game because I wasn't very good, kind of showed me exactly where I would like to be, but obviously as a better player. So yeah, I seen that kind of environment and I was like, oh yep, sweet, if I train hard and actually know how to play, then maybe this could be where I can see myself.
Well, you must have been pretty good. You have trained hard. And you have improved.
Yeah.
And you are a very good player.
A while.
And you are one of our key players in NRLW, Bo. So very humble. I know you are. Right, final tackle in the opening set of 6. Referee has the arm in the air, Bo. Away from football, what does Bo do in his spare time?
Away from footy, I pretty much work. Working is like my life. I work in a community space and it's something I'm really passionate and I really enjoy. It's giving back to the community. You know, you always dream of being a big NRLW star or big NRL star, but you never can get to those places if it's not for the people who have dealt with you through your lower stages of life. And me going back and giving back to the junior league clubs and all that kind of stuff is something I used to do in my free time when I wasn't trying to balance footy and work. So now to be able to have that as a job is something I'm pretty stoked about and I really enjoy. So that kind of stuff I live for and I really do love it. So if I'm not at footy or if I'm not at work, I'm trying to go out and help some of the young kids enjoy their footy and learn through experiences without having to actually go through those experiences. So
it sounds similar to Shannon Gallant was on last episode, and again we were talking about you find a job that you love, you'll never work a day in your life.
Yeah.
It sounds like, okay, but come on, away from that, right? Away from here, away from footy, how does Bo let her hair down? What are you into? What are some of your hobbies, pastimes?
Oh, before I was injured, I tried to take up surfing, which was pretty cool. I could get up on the board, which was pretty mean.
Big long foamy or something, or
just a little hired one that they taught lessons on. My brother was a pretty good surfer. He surfed in New Zealand in competitions and stuff like that, but he would never teach us. So I tried to do it myself and had to pay for lessons. But I really like surfing.
Come up my way. I've got a few
Yeah,
spare
I actually went
few
out to
spare
Manly
boards.
to learn how to surf. We did it at one of our Aussie camps. We went to the surfing academy somewhere
we'll
in
go
Gold
right up to
Coast.
Palm Beach.
Palm
Right up the
Beach.
end, the last one, Northern
Is that
Beach.
where Home and Away is filmed?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
But down in the south end of Palm Beach, there's a little place called Kitty's Corner.
Oh, yeah,
That's
is that
where
where
you
all the
teach all the...
kids...
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we'll
That's
get you up
us.
there.
Yeah,
All right,
sweet.
we'll do that.
Do you have a surfboard?
I've got plenty of surfboards.
Oh, yeah.
Big, long ones, spare ones. Yep.
Like
The
learner
one
ones?
with your name on it.
Oh, yeah, sweet. That's us. Oh,
Right.
yeah.
All right. Well, that is the opening set of 6. We better get into some of the nitty gritty. I mean, we've covered a fair bit of ground already, Bo, and this episode is not going to be a short one. Are you okay to stick around for a while?
Yeah, I'm sweet.
All right. Good as gold.
Bryden's lawyers are the lawyers you know and trust. If you require legal representation, then why look anywhere else? Call Bryden's lawyers on 1800 848 848. Bryden's lawyers, we do support you in your time of need.
Let's talk about the NRLW, the squad that we have got assembled already. Yourself, obviously, Kezi Apps, Sarah, Togatugi. Then we had Nevada George, Rakia Horn, Lasana Lutu, Christian Pio, Tess Staines. And then we announced another 9 at the weekend, including the Curtin sisters. So I'll go through the whole lot there. Bianca Bennetts, Sophie and Emily Curtin, Rebecca Pollard, Imogen Gobrin, Hope Tavunga, pronouncing that right? Yeah. Josie Lenaz, Ebony Pryor, and Jess Kennedy. So we've got 17 on the books now. And there's another 2 or 3 being announced in the coming days. And then there might be, I think, another couple as well. How's it shaping up, in your opinion?
I think it's starting to look really good. We've got a lot of our local girls that have played in our Harvey team, but also that have come through the Tasha Gale system within the club. So it's really cool that the club has really invested in our young girls that are coming through and have been at the club for so long. And it's always been them waiting for this opportunity. So to the club finally having an NRLW license and they're on board straight away it's really exciting.
So we've got the players signed. It's all coming together. Pre-season starts at the end of May, I think, and we'll chat about where you're at with your rehab as well. But pretty much as we speak, the draw is being released as well. What we do know, and we should be excited about, we've got Parramatta at CommBank Stadium for our opening game, your former club.
Yeah, I'm pretty keen for that. Parramatta was where I was last year when I got injured, and I really had a little bit of a soft spot for Parramatta since that was the first suburb that we moved to once we moved to Australia. So that was a cool experience to play there. But yeah, I'm keen to be back there at CommBank and ripping. I think it'll be pretty exciting.
I think you look better in the black,
The
white and orange.
Yeah,
than the
orange
blue and
is
gold.
like a deceivingly really nice colour.
How, on a serious note, I mean, I have seen pictures of you in the blue and gold, but I think you look more at home here.
Feel more at home here.
Yeah, well, you should do. How competitive will we be in year one?
Oh, I think anytime you start a club and you rein girls in from other clubs, it's always there to be more than just competitive. We're not here to just be a number on or a team on the list. We're here to compete and we want to, make our stamp early. And I think going up against Parramatta with so many players in our squad that have come over from Parramatta is going to be an awesome way to just make our mark on the competition and show that we're here not to muck around, but we're here to play and we're going to be competitive and good at it.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kezi's, a real role model, I guess, for a lot of young girls and women as well, rugby league players. She's done it all and still has plenty to offer, doesn't she? Then Sarah, tell us a bit more about Sarah.
Sarah's the man. So we call her Sulla. Sarah's just a very weird name for her. It doesn't really suit her, obviously. But yeah, Sulla's the man. She's so skillful, so strong, so powerful.
Position?
Plays anywhere in the middle, I think,
middle,
so far. But yeah, she's sharp. She's really good. If you have the chance or get the chance to have a look at her game, Roosters against Dragons 2021 final up in Queensland. She got player of the match for that game. I can't remember what the...
I remembered, I Googled that actually, and I saw some highlights.
Yeah.
Goes good.
She's so... She's deceivingly really fast too, so great on her feet, very strong, very powerful, and is like very genuine and kind as a person as well. So it's really, really good to have her in the club.
Really humble and grounded and strong faith as well. So I don't know her, but I've met her a few times briefly. So other girls there, Lasana Lutu, she's just come on in leaps and bounds in recent years, hasn't she?
Yeah.
Another Campbelltown.
She's so young as well, but she is so wise beyond her years. She's going to be really good. Get her fit, get her fast.
And her nickname?
Bucky. Bucky, yeah. So when anyone says Lasana, we kind of think, oh, shit.
Who's
we
that?
got a new girl in the team.
I've got a new girl. No, it's Bucky.
Nah, but yeah, she's very young, but man, she's got a big career ahead of her. I reckon.
Yeah. So she's plays a 6, but almost a physique of a forward, really. It's like a Brad Fittler type, running type.
Yeah, she's solid.
6.
She's got some solid shoulders too. So
Yeah.
you see a few girls running it straight at her. She can fold people just as good as what she can make people look on when she's attacking as well.
She's got a really bright future. A lot of these players too have got Parramatta experience behind them in NRLW too. Nevada was there. Was she at Eels?
Yeah, she was there last year with Bucky.
Christian Pio.
Yeah, Chris was there for
Tess
the last
Staines?
couple of years. Yeah.
Rakia?
Rakia's from Para.
Right.
She's been at the Dragons as well.
Yeah.
Rakia's really good. She's so strong, so fast. And I feel like she's in the last couple of years, she's starting to find her feet and come into her own as a player. So she's someone who's very exciting to watch.
Yeah. How important, Bo, is it for this club, and not just this club, but for women's development, participation, increased numbers, for us to have so many players in our current NRLW squad who have already played for Wests Tigers?
I think it's really important. The club's done the right thing by holding off getting the NRLW license to ensure that our pathways are really strong and we have a clear, direct pathway into the NRLW squad, and it kind of shows now that you can see a lot of our Tasha Gale girls coming through and our Harvey Norman players being able to lock down contracts. So I think the club's done a great job there, and I think it's just important to give back to those who have been at the club through everything, finishing first on the table, finishing last on the table. They've been here and they've grinded it out and waited their time. So I think it's awesome for them to get this opportunity to play, and it's very deserving.
It's like, and when you get a new club or a new license, obviously not a new club, but we've got a new license. So, for example, I helped set up and I played over in Perth with Western Reds, right? New license, bang, overnight. We had to put it all together. So you have to import people in from all over the place and bang, righto, here's your squad. But with this NRLW squad, the vast majority of them have already played together, whether it be in Harvey Norman or Tasha Gale, and even I think some of them might have joined in Lisa Fiola years. So they've already got sort of a feeling about what the club's about, right?
Yeah, 100%. And then we've got a great balance of the girls that have signed from outside the club that are going to bring something special and help guide and teach the girls that haven't yet played in the NRLW system. So I think the club's done a great job at balancing, but also giving back and giving back.
We on Easter Monday too, when we announced, I think, the 5 girls, we unveiled our Women's Champions group, which is a donor group, and immediately the funds started pouring through. So this is purely for women's development here at the club. I think there's some people were pretty surprised how quickly and how much support this has already received. Yeah,
it was massive. I think at the end, the Easter Monday game, they released it to the public, and by the end of that night, we had 110K in donors. So that's pretty massive if you can release that kind of stuff in one day and get so much buy-in. I think the women's game is growing so rapidly, and for sponsors and people who care about the women's sport, is if they jump in on now, they're just riding the wave with us. And I think it's awesome that we've got a donorship program like that that's going to give back to the young girls that are striving to be an NRLW player, so that they're getting the same experiences that we're getting up at the top, and they're also getting the same gear and coaching staff and all that kind of stuff is really important, because within 5 years, 2018 when the first NRLW started to what it is today is a whole massive step. There's almost full-time players now. So if that's how long it took to, get us to this spot we are today, I think in the next 5 years, if we look after our young girls and bleed them through and teach them the ways early, the game's going to be skyrocketing in the next couple of years.
It's been rapid, the development in the NRLW the last few years, and you've seen it, I've seen it, the quality, the standard, it is improving year on year. And the last one we saw, I was fortunate enough, I called a few of the games with 9,
nice.
Loved it. And, the systems in place, they play similar to the NRL in some sort of stuff, but there's often a bit less structure, I think. But in terms of those funds that are coming in, if anyone wants to join that coterie group, donor group, Women's Champions, just check the Wests Tigers website and you can find all the links on there. I will point out a lot of that money on Easter Monday in the room came from quite a few of our corporate sponsors, the likes of Bryden's and others, quick to put their hands in their pockets. But I think the message is quite clear. There is a genuine hunger to see the women's game succeed. And with that hunger, people are putting resources behind it.
Yeah, and it's awesome to see, and it's awesome to be a part of this inaugural group that gets to see the funds go up and see the corporate sponsors and everyone putting their hands in their pockets, happy to throw money at us. So it's awesome, because I can remember those days where the players before us used to do raffles at pubs and stuff like that, just to fund their registration fees or fund their gears and stuff like that. So now to see sponsors throw cash and are happy to throw cash at us, it's like a real blessing.
Well, look, they're not silly either, by the way. They're putting their money in and talking corporate speak here, they want a return on their investment, most of them, and they're seeing that the eyeballs that's attracting are in broadcast. So they're not silly, right? They can see that this product is going to be successful, and they're all really happy to put their name to it, which is great, Let's talk about your injury. So it's been a really long year for you, right? Almost 12 months out of the game.
Yeah.
You must be seeing light at the end of the tunnel. Where are we at now? When are you sort of fully fit and ready to go?
So, it's been the longest year of my life, just at this as an adult, not being able to play footy and do stuff that you really, really enjoy has been like a massive bit of a headache for me. But I am 5 weeks until I will be back into full-time training. So Benny, who's a part of our club, has been looking after my rehab since November last year, and he's been putting me through the ringer, but honestly can't thank him enough for being able to help me out and work around my working schedule as well as his training schedule that he has to help with all the other teams. So he's been the man.
Ben Mussolino, right? So he's helped your recovery. He was the one that threw the gridiron pass that I tried to chase and snap the Achilles.
Snap your Achilles, yeah. So there's a light at my tunnel, but maybe the cause of your tunnel.
He didn't put his hand up and say, "Chris, can I help you with your rehab?"
Yeah, unlucky.
I just thought of that. Where's he been? But I sort of know what you're going through. But I mean, the mental battle, Bo, and so we know Adam's now gone for at least a year, and it'll be his third knee reconstruction. I wasn't aware that you this is your second.
Yeah, so this is my second as well.
Does it get to be a time where you think, I won't come back from this? Is that?
I think once you've done one and you've made your comeback after that one, you know that you can. No matter how many more times you have to do it, you know that it can be done. Obviously, as you get older, the priorities of getting back to play aren't as big as what they are. But once you've done it once, you know you can come back. The next time you do it, you just know that the process, how it works, it doesn't make it any easier going through it a second time, but you just know that it's not the end.
Because it doesn't just affect your career, your footy career, but it's those all those other things in life that change.
Yeah, exactly. So when I done my knee, I had to take time off work to be able to obviously recover and have surgery and all that kind of stuff. So I lost a big portion of my income. And I was lucky enough that I jumped over to the Tigers community team a little bit later, and the club have been really good and really helpful in that kind of space. But yeah, it's tough. You get all of a sudden, as an athlete, you've been training, 7 days a week and playing, and then all of a sudden you got all this free time that you can do all those fun things that you always wanted to do that you've put to the side because you want to be a professional athlete, but you can't even do those now because you can't move or you can't walk or it's uncomfortable. So yeah, I think the mental battle with ACL injuries is probably the biggest obstacle to overcome. I know when I done my ACL, if you see the footage, I started crying straight away because I just knew my season was finished and it's a long road to recover, and I already know that I'll be out, and I'll be out for a long time. So I think mentally it's the biggest issue. I had Christian Welch from the Storm. As soon as I done my knee, he reached out over Instagram and sent this cool as message of just encouragement and all tips and tricks on how to...
Did you know him?
No, I don't know him. I seen him on TV, but I didn't know him from a bar of soap, and he reached out to message all these cool little tips like drink bone broth or something like that. All these cool, like really helpful tips that he sent through, and I thought that was so cool that someone of his calibre, the man playing for the Storm, don't know him from a bar of soap, but he's reached out and sent me a message, and a really, really nice message, and I was pretty starstruck, but real heartfelt moment. So anytime any of the other girls get injured, or I see some of our girls go down with ACL injuries, I'm straight back onto my screenshots from his message, and I'll send it straight through and just say, hey girls, Christian Welsh reached out to me when I got injured. This is some really helpful tips on how to stay mentally strong, how to physically get better, and how to lean on the right support systems to make sure that you're going in the right direction. So yeah, after he messaged, I was definitely a Storm fan after that.
That's beautiful, isn't it? That's rugby league, right?
Yeah,
we are
exactly.
one community.
100%.
Whatever club you're playing for.
As soon as you go through those kind of times where you're injured and you're out of the game for so long, I think it's your kind of duty as a person or as an NRL player, NRLW, even just a footy player, to reach out to those who are injured or going through the same situation that you would have went through, and send them those kind of messages, because you know how tough it is and you know how dark it can get.
And our thoughts are with Adam too, and I spoke to him at the game on Sunday, and he's upbeat. He knows what he's got to do. So what you're just talking about there, he's done it a couple of times. He knows the path he's got to take. So I guess you can sort of plan in your head where you need to be and make some milestones, some day by day, week by week, little goals.
And it is those little milestones and the little goals that you set that kind of make the journey a little bit easier and a little less daunting. But yeah, I think journaling was a massive thing that Christian Welch sent through to me, and I journaled from the day I went in from surgery until the day I had my first training session, running session, and I can look back 12 months ago and see how sad it was. And then I can see now that I'm running, and Benny's putting me through all these tough ass running sessions, and I hate it, and I don't really want to run, and my lungs are gassed. But then I think back to those days at the start where I was moaning about how I couldn't move out of bed, or how I couldn't go down to training and join in with everyone else's session because I was injured. So I go back into my training sessions and my schedule now, and I'm so much more grateful that I'm out there crunning, but I'm doing it. I'm out there and I'm involved.
Well, the good news is you're on track to start pre-season, right? At the end of May with the NRLW squad. So that is great, and it's a great story, and some great advice there too for the likes of anyone that suffers a long-term injury. Your name, Botille, lovely name, unique name. I've never met another Botille before. Tell us about the origin of your name.
Yeah, so I was named after my great-great-great-grandmother who moved from Denmark to New Zealand back in the days. She had 7 children with her and her husband, and she was pregnant, so they came via boat to New Zealand. As soon as she got there, my great-great-grandfather passed away in a tree lopping accident, so she was left in New Zealand to raise 7 kids and then an 8th kid, and she managed to stay strong and be able to do that kind of life. And my mum and my parents decided to name me Botille after her, and just because I've got 3 older brothers that I'm going to have to battle in my coming years, so yeah, they decided to name me after her, just giving me a strong, powerful female name. And yeah, I'm pretty stoked that no one else is called Botille as well, so yeah.
It's nice. So that was your grandmother?
You know, the great
great-grandmother.
Yeah. Back in the days, great grandmother.
Wow. So that's how you ended up in that little small village.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not too sure where she sailed to, but yeah, that's how we ended up in New Zealand. And my dad's obviously Māori, so my mum and dad met, and then here I am.
You talk about your dad and being Maori. What did that mean to you when was the AllStars? What year was?
So I started playing AllStars in 2019.
Yeah.
And then I've been there ever since, other than obviously this year that's gone past. Yeah, it's a real special moment. I've been blessed. I've been able to play for Australia, the Jillaroos in the 2019 Test match, but then I'm very lucky that I get to represent my culture. It was a massive decision trying to choose between the Jillaroos and the Kiwi Ferns. So the fact that I get to, give back to a country that's given so much opportunities to me and my family in Australia, and play for Australian with Australian jersey, but then also give back to my ancestors and be able to represent my culture so proudly is massive. I love playing in the All-Stars match, and I think that's one of the highlights, and always will be the pinnacle of my career, is being able to put on the Māori Ferns jersey and play on the big stage, and show we come to Australia and we lose a lot of our language and don't live the same lifestyle as our family back in New Zealand. So to be able to show the girls in Aussie that you're Māori by blood, you're not Māori because you're born in New Zealand, you're not Māori because you're from New Zealand, you're Māori because your ancestors were Māori, and this is who we are, and this is who you'll always be. You never should be ashamed of that, and I think that's pretty cool for us girls to be a part of that, and it's my favourite time of the year.
Just on last year again with that maiden premiership, the Harvey Norman Women's, it was just a milestone moment for this club. You weren't able to play obviously because you're out injured, but you were there and you were right in the thick of things. This year the team hasn't made, so that's just finished, and they're into the finals now, but we didn't make the finals. Was that a major disappointment, given we were the reigning premiers?
Yeah, 100%. I think it was, for me, I'm not even on the field, and I feel quite disappointed. And I feel for the girls that are all playing Harvey Norman. This would have been the first year that we didn't make finals as a club, and this is our 5th year in the Harvey Norman system. So it was very disappointed. And it wasn't from a lack of effort or a lack of attitude. It was just our time wasn't right, and it's always good to be on top and be at premiers, but it makes it quite tough because now you're not the underdog anymore. You've got a lot to prove and a lot to uphold. So, definitely disappointing, but we go again next year. And the girls have all played together and built combinations, and hopefully that will work in our favour coming NRLW season. Yeah,
and there will be a lot of crossover too. So you'll be able to play NRLW and also Harvey Norman, right? It doesn't mean if you're playing NRL.
Harvey's finished for the year, so once NRLW's started, it'll just be NRLW, and then next year you'll be able to
go again and do both going forward. The Centre of Excellence, so I see a lot of the team and the girls around here. You can't help but hear them. They're down the other end mostly, but my goodness, there are some very noisy girls amongst them.
Yeah. Very happy.
Girls just want to have fun, right? But they have always chirpy, laughing, carrying on. They enjoy their time being here.
100%. Obviously, not being full-time athletes, we all have to work and live outside of footy. So once we come back to training, it's you're here. This is kind of like an escape for some girls. We're here to enjoy and let loose and enjoy each other's company. And you come to training to get away from everything else. And the more you can have fun, I always believe in if you can enjoy your footy and have fun, that's when you play your best. So we may be a bit loud and we apologise for that.
That's all right.
But as long as we've got good culture, good vibes around the team, we're sweet.
It's fine because, as you say, they've all got jobs, or a lot of them are school teachers, I think, as well, and they would arrive here. Sometimes it might be 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock, so most of the office staff are gone. But sometimes I'm working back here or whatever. And, no, that's all right. I enjoy it. Who can we single out a couple of the girls that are particularly loud?
Particularly loud. I reckon Tess. Have you met Tess yet? Tess
Yes,
Staines? Man, she is the funniest, out the gatest person that I've ever met. She's like a cowgirl kind of country bumpkin has the funniest.
From Leeton. Riverina.
She's from out in the Wops as well. And
Not the Wops. I'm from my family's from out that way.
yeah, that's out in the Wops.
The what? Yeah, well, out in the bush. Yeah.
Yeah, out in the country. But yeah, she's a lovely girl, man. She says some of the funniest things. Just being like a country bumpkin.
Yeah.
And it's kind of very
Well, that's a nice story too, because she's come from the Riverina and came up here, and she's like
sacrificed a lot to chase this NRLW dream, or just chasing the footy dream.
Absolutely.
It's you got to give credit where credit's due. And
Come on,
those
so
girls,
Tess Stay. Who else is
Tess
particularly loud? You're not quiet either, are you? You're just quiet.
I am pretty quiet. Not really, but kind of.
The thing is, you love it. They love you.
We just love to be around each other, and we all bounce off each other. So
brings it to this place then, the Centre of Excellence, the Zurich Centre, and the girls utilising that gym, loving it, and I see them down there quite often. What has the Centre of Excellence done for the women's program?
Oh, it's been amazing being able to do everything in one spot. We don't have to travel to another field. We're not training out of those
Porta cabins.
Or just those stink-ass gyms that have a couple of things that are all broken, but you've got to be grateful because someone's got to be there, and it's better than nothing. But, yeah, being able to do all our recovery here and not have to pay or, take time off work so that you can go and buy pay for a massage or go and pay for recovery. Like, everything's in the one spot. We've got girls that travel from Camden. We finish training at 8:30. They got to get back out there. We've got a couple in Blue Mountain, so to be able to come upstairs, cook us some dinner, have a shower downstairs, do all your recovery. You just have to go home, and then you can sleep and worry about work the next day. So it's been really, really helpful. And I think we'll be able to see in the next few years the facilities like this and all the recovery and everything that it's been helpful for us to do is going to show in our performance.
It might just sound like it's little things, but simple things, but they add up and are really important. Like being able to come here and have a swim or a spa, and then go into the nice kitchen and have those ready meals in the I had one the other day, actually.
Are they any good?
It's all right. It was salmon and pumpkin or something, or leftovers there.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
But you're right, because it's different to the NRL boys. They're professional, fully professional. All these other players pretty much have other jobs that they have to juggle. So it's a bit different, helping prepare the NRLW team.
Yeah, exactly. And because we've got other jobs, when we are here, we've got to go home and get ready for life again, to go and do it all over again the next day. So to be able to just come to training, do your gym, do your recovery, have a feed, have a shower, go home. All you have to worry about then is work. You don't have to worry about making sure you got everything sorted for
And then there's kids
your
as
body.
well. I don't know.
We've got some mums in the team.
Yeah.
It's a pretty cool day.
Yeah.
To see mums being able to, do mum life, work, train, and
Can
play
you juggle?
footy. Oh, I don't even have kids, and I'm struggling to juggle. So, man, they do a great job.
Yeah, yeah. Finally, in the middle chunk, in terms of participation for growth numbers, the female game, for us, our pathway system, how important is it to have the NRLW team?
Yeah, I reckon it's very important. The girls in our grassroots and the girls in our Roar Academy and Lisa Fiola teams can see a clear pathway straight into the NRLW, and you don't have to keep jumping clubs or finding a new spot for yourself. You can stay at the club. I think the NRL would do a great job at talking about those players who are loyal to one club and all that kind of stuff. And so for girls to be able to stay at one club from juniors all the way through is something that they should be proud of, and it's a possibility these days. So I think it's really, really good. We've got a massive catchment as well. We've got Balmain and we've got MacArthur in Group 6. So there's plenty of talent out there.
Absolutely.
Being able to look after it and keep it within our catchment and, steer them to the Tigers is massive.
And you girls are a great advertisement too, and the Centre of Excellence, and there's so many reasons that they would want to aspire to be someone like yourself.
Bryden's lawyers are the lawyers you know and trust. If you require legal representation, then why look anywhere else? Call Bryden's lawyers on 1800 848 848. Bryden's lawyers, we do support you in your time of need.
Let's have some questions from the crowd. We have got quite a few through, so you are a very popular guest, like you said.
I thought they wouldn't be many.
Again, that's on Instagram. Just direct messages behind the Roar. Wests Tigers BTR is the Insta handle, and you can DM us there, and you can also drop us a voice memo as well. I'll go through a couple of here. This one is come through from Troy Maguire. Hey, Bo, what would you say your greatest qualities are as a leader?
Great question, Troy. I reckon I'm very understanding, I'd say. I'm very genuine and I care about like the players in my team, and I think in order to get the best out of everyone, you got to, show a little bit of compassion every time, but then you got to kick them up the butt when they need it. But being there for each other and being genuine when I am there for them, as I think would be a good quality to have.
So a couple teammates here as well.
Yeah.
A couple of messages.
Any saucy ones in there.
Just trying to vet them as we go through. I'll drop them out if they are a bit too saucy. Afina, what's been the highlight of your career?
Highlight of my career.
Afina is...
Afi, she used to play with the Tigers. She's now
Yes.
a part of the coaching staff in our Harvey system.
Yeah.
Good old Af. Highlight of my career. I feel like I have quite a few highlights. Maybe a Tiger-related highlight would be when I got to play with Emily Curtin at Parramatta.
Yeah.
She has been deserving of an NRLW contract for many, many years, but to see her go from Tasha Gale at Tigers all the way through and get contract at Para at the same time as me, and I presented her debut jersey for our Harvey Norman team a few years ago, and then I was lucky enough to present her debut jersey for NRLW at Parramatta, so that was like a pretty proud big sister moment, and heaps of love for the Curtin sisters, and I always want to see them do real good things, so that was pretty cool.
Just on the Curtin sisters, and this is a question from the crowd, from me.
Yeah.
Because I'm the host of this, right?
Yeah.
I didn't know they were both like world champion
Fighters.
Muay Thai.
Yeah, they're like 5-year champion fighters, Muay Thai fighters.
They seem so placid.
Yeah, until you see them rolled up.
Where are the quiet girls?
Yeah, exactly. If I ever need to get it too lippy on the field, I'm straight behind them.
So I'm sure they handle the wrestle.
Yeah, we did some
Okay.
wrestle stuff, and they like flipped me on my head once, and I thought, sweet, thank God you're on our team.
All right, perfect. Got another couple in here. Oh, another teammate, Christian, P.O. Can we get a Bukana?
Can we get a buka there? Oh, yeah, count us down.
Yeah?
Yeah, go 3, 2, 1, and I'll give it to the camera. Yeah, sweet.
3, 2, 1. I like it. Okay. I like it.
Thanks, Chris.
That's
Praising me.
good. I love that. Oh, right down the barrel too of that camera. And finally, mate, this one is from Michaela. I'm not sure if a former teammate or if this is just one of our listeners. And thanks very much to everyone. If we haven't been able to get to your questions, direct message us on Insta, Wests Tigers BTR. Have you ever done anything, Bo, in the NRLW that you weren't supposed to and that the referee missed?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Well, I'm sure you've broken the rules at some point.
Yeah,
We all
not
do.
on the field. Definitely not on the field. The refs are great at picking up everything.
Oh,
Um,
off the field?
Oh, this when I first played in Combank, the field announcing person came to do like a quick little interview.
MC, ground announcer.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ground announcer, and he came and he asked how cool it was to play our first game in the Combank Stadium, and I swore.
Oh,
I was like,
a Chris Hino moment.
yeah, respectfully, as respectful as I
What
just was so
type?
passionate about how cool it was to play in the stadium. That
What are
I
we
just
talking?
swore.
What sort of level of...
Oh, just the F word.
Oh, you dropped an F-bomb.
Yeah, that's the only swear word, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's beautiful.
Yeah, he said
That's
how good it was, and I was like, oh, yo, it was
Oh,
effing
God.
mean.
No. Bo, that's beautiful. That's raw.
Yeah,
That's
that's
live.
When I get passionate, I forget how to say real
Yeah, no, it's
cool words, and that was the first thing that came to my.
You're a trooper. Now, you should go have a chat with Chris Huntington.
I know, yeah, I missed that one. Did he swear on TV
What
too?
did he swear?
Oh, is that in the grand final?
2005, yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as you get off here, I want you to go and just Google
Ask him?
YouTube it.
Oh, yeah,
and then
sweet.
and both. He's out there.
Yeah.
He's wearing like the double, triple pluggers in today. Very casual look out there.
Yeah, Mondays. Must be casual Mondays, not Fridays
Wow.
anymore.
No, I want you to go and chat to Chriso about that. All right. Well, that is questions from the crowd. There's the clock up there. So we've only got 5 left. So we'll rattle
Sweet.
through. Favourite 5.
Yeah.
So this hasn't been, you think we're a bit scary coming on here.
Yeah, it was.
It's all good?
Yeah, it's all good.
Righto. Botille Vette-Welsh. Your favourite 5 here, right?
Yeah.
Could be anything. Well, It'll be what I've written. Favourite moment in rugby league?
Playing wise or
Doesn't matter.
footy-wise?
Favourite moment in rugby league?
Well, I think I've got a new favourite moment. Did you watch the Broncos play? Who did the Broncos play on the weekend? And Israel Mann did that flick ball to...
Yeah, he's a quality player, Ezra, isn't he?
What's that fella that has gone to Broncos from Rabbitohs? What's his name? Not Cody Walker, the other one. Reynolds. He did that flick ball to the Reynolds.
I didn't watch it.
That was my new favourite footy moment at the moment. Gave me Benji vibes, but like a modern Benji vibes.
What about, talking about moments, Stainsy's Superman try on
Charlie
Sunday?
Staines. How crazy was that, eh? We just had got
I
into the
missed it.
tunnel. Oh, you miss everything.
I just missed it. I was doing something in the but my kids showed me last night in the highlights.
Some of these wingers in the NRL play it, like, how crazy do they get? They like up, out, in.
Yeah.
Like the
they
acrobatic
bend,
moves
they
that they
defy gravity.
Yeah, I feel like when I dive, I'm like a sack of potatoes. I just hit the ground. Yeah.
But he had to, if he hadn't dived, if he hadn't dove, he wouldn't have scored. He had to do that.
That was cool.
So
That was a real cool moment. All the kids had just gotten into the tunnel when we seen that too, so that was real cool.
Yeah, like he knew like instantly, I've got to get over there, and he did. That was anyway. We digress. Which of your former teammates did you enjoy most good times with off the field?
Oh,
now that doesn't have to be former teammates; it can be current as well.
current. Oh man, you see me at my rarest form.
I haven't though. I haven't.
Got a bit of liquid courage.
I haven't seen you with the liquid courage.
Wow.
Have I? No, I don't think I
hope
have.
Good times. Probably Nevada George.
Yeah.
I think she's seen me through some of my toughest and some of my coolest times. So I reckon her or even M seen me on my at Mad Monday on my purest form of me. Emily Curtin. Yeah, she's been lucky enough to sober drive me a couple of times and look after me. So
A three-pronged question. Right, so I want favourite food, favourite movie, and favourite band.
Favourite food, I like lots of things other than vegetables.
You don't like veggies?
Nah. I like green ones, but all those other colours are just too extreme. I've only just started on salads, so favourite
You've been a
food,
salad dodger.
Yeah, I've been like a whole healthy food dodger for a lot of my life. Yeah, but now that I'm putting on a bit of kgs, I've got to learn to love that green stuff. Favourite food? Oh, KFC. Can I say that?
Sure you can. They are a sponsor.
Yeah, I'll plug them as our sponsor, KFC.
That's your favourite.
I'm off KFC for the next 6 weeks, so that's tough times ahead.
Okay. But that's okay. Okay.
Yeah, I'll stick with
KFC's in there.
Extra salt on the
Movie.
chips. Have to.
You can't.
Extra salt on the
cholesterol.
chips. Yeah, I know. I love salt. I have an addiction to salt. That is
God.
probably something I shouldn't tell Noddy. But favourite movie? Oh, the Avatar. Have you watched Avatar? It's been
The
my
new
favourite.
one?
Yeah, it goes for like 500
I
hours.
haven't.
Best movie.
True?
Yeah, I watched the first one at the movie theatres.
For me or kids?
Nah,
anyone?
everyone.
Yeah.
All welcome.
Avatar.
Avatar.
All right.
The blue one, not the
No, because I
monk
watched
one.
the original one way
yeah.
back.
Yeah, I
They were
reckon
big
the Avatar.
people, weren't they?
Yeah, the big aliens. Or my second favourite would be Rise of the Planet of the Apes. That whole saga of movies is my favourite.
Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, have you
It's
watched
another
that?
old. Oh, I watched it back in the 70s or 80s.
Have you watched the recent one? Oh, it's so good.
Good?
Caesar can speak and he teaches the rest of the monkeys
True?
how to speak. Yeah. It's lit.
Okay. Favourite band?
Favourite band, 660. 660, have you heard 660?
I've heard of them, but I wouldn't know what songs they play.
Oh, they're a New Zealand band. That's probably my favourite band. They're the only band
Any
I've
tunes?
been...
Get anything out there?
Oh, I need a liquid courage if I'm going to sing.
Okay,
Yeah,
fair
sorry.
enough. All right. Question 4. Who is the biggest joker in the Wests Tigers women's team? You might have.
Biggest joker.
Tess was loudest, we thought.
Tess was funniest.
Funniest. So
She's funny because she's strange. Country.
she's a bit strange.
Yeah, respectfully strange, so not weird.
Country
strange.
bumpkin.
Yeah.
Strange. Okay, your favourite all-time women's player?
Oh, favourite all-time women's player.
So this could even be before NRLW, or it could be.
My favourite for ages was Nakia. Have you ever heard of Nakia Davis Welsh? She's got Welsh in the last name too. Breed them different. She's the man. If you look back at Nakia, she's playing at Parramatta actually.
Now?
She's signed with Parramatta for the NRLW, so you'll get to see her again soon. She's been off. She's had a couple of babies, but but she's still sharp and strong and
What
nippy.
position?
She was a fullback.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Because they do have a very good. They
She's
did have a
played
great
for-
fullback.
yeah, she's
last
played
year.
for Jillaroos back in the days too. Nakia.
Who was Parramatta fullback last year then?
Gail brought her.
Gail.
Yeah, but she's
Yeah.
gone up to the Bronx.
Great. Okay. So
Yeah,
that's opened it up for.
I'm pretty sure she's gone. I don't know if Nakia's gone to fullback, but
Yeah.
she was one of the sharpest fullbacks when I was first starting to play footy.
Yeah.
She played when Sammy Bremner was injured, I think, for the Jillaroos, or they were rotating those
Yeah,
two.
yeah.
She's the man.
Okay.
She's an Indigenous girl, so she's
Yeah.
sharp,
Yeah.
skillful, very good. Yeah, so she's one to watch in the next coming
Yeah.
season and the next coming years as well.
Well, it'll be our first game.
Oh yeah, too.
You might be wearing number one.
She might
Would that be
the
the
other side.
goal? I guess. for you
Yeah,
to wear?
hopefully. I think so. That's the goal. I just got to get my lungs sorted.
Well, there you go. So it could be you up against your all-time
Favorite.
favourite.
Yeah.
Bring it.
Oh, it's scary, eh?
One final one for me then, and we'll finish on this. Favourite NRL player,
Favorite NRL player. It
or
used to be-
current or former?
Used to be Isaac Luke. I used to think he was a man, but I reckon Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is like, I always wish I could play like him. I think he's a man.
Well, you must be stoked that
Yeah,
he's
he's
coming
coming
back.
back. He's making the comeback. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
pretty excited.
Nice.
And he won Dally M, and the Warriors weren't even doing very well. And how do you win Dally M if your team's not that great at that time, but up the wires at the moment?
Roger. Yeah. It has been a real pleasure, Bo, having a chat to you. Thanks for joining us there. It wasn't scary at all.
Yeah, it wasn't scary. Thanks for having me, though. This was
my
actually
pleasure.
quite cool.
I'm sure everyone, and thanks to everyone getting involved as well, sending those questions through. Good luck with the injury, and let's hope you hit the ground running with pre-season training, NRLW, and thanks for joining us on Behind the Roar.
No, thanks for having me.
Well, you know the drill. We'll do it all again next week, same time, same place. Thanks again for your company. Until then, show your stripes.
Behind the Roar, the official podcast of Wests Tigers.